It is time for Tuesday's Elko Live here on KELK. This is the day that we set aside to catch up on city news, and this is in advance of this afternoon's regular council meeting that'll get underway at 4 o'clock in the council chambers. And so pleased to be sitting across from Jan Baum, our Elko city manager. Jan, it's always a pleasure. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me, Lori.
Absolutely. Today, we'll look over the agenda. Not a lot of heavy lifting on the agenda, but we can just do some friendly community reminders too. And again, just wanted to thank you for bringing Lisa Mangum, our Elko Animal Shelter Manager, last week with that great news about achieving a no-kill shelter status. I've heard so many good things from people who really appreciate that, Jan.
Oh, I am so thankful for that. I know Elisa has worked so hard, and she's, like we visited about, she's been the manager at the Elko Animal Shelter for about 2 years now, and she's just doing a really great job. She has a lot of energy, a lot of ideas, and we just really appreciate her and what she's been able to achieve, for sure.
It's nice to bring people together, because if there's one thing that people are passionate about, it's animals. And so
absolutely,
yes.
They just provide so much peace and partnership for so many people, and for sure that it's great that they're so passionate about it.
So Jan, we'll look over what's on tops for the agenda, and I can't believe that Shelby is retiring. I think she came to work at the police department even after I started covering the news in the community, and so I'm thinking, Shelby, are you sure you can't be old enough to retire?
Absolutely right. We will just, she's a staple within the city of Elko, absolutely, and Shelby's been with the city for 28 years, and last Friday was her last day, and she's kind enough to come in and be presented her retirement plaque by the mayor, and he's excited to present that to her. And she was just the go-to person at the Elko Police Department, and honestly for a lot of different people throughout the city. And so I always appreciated Shelby. I knew if I called her I'd get a straight answer and a lot of information, and she was just a gem, and sorry to see her go, but super excited for her.
Yeah, she'll be able to spend more time with her family. And Shelby, you did so much in helping the police station when it was in the old location at 1401 College Avenue. And those were some tough times. And then she helped oversee this transition to this beautiful new facility. And as the record supervisor, she's leaving an incredible legacy.
Absolutely. And she has a great team there that she has led and trained, and they do a great job over there. And I believe we've already filled her position, and Ashley will do an amazing job, and we're excited for her and her continuation of her career.
Well, congratulations, Ashley. She is sassy. Well, most of the women that work at the police department are sassy in a great way. So ladies,
absolutely. I think they need to be. So good for them.
Yes.
They're a great group. You're right, with a lot of energy.
Yeah. So congratulations to all. That's wonderful news right there on the top of the agenda. And I know how much I see when the mayor does the presentations and the plaques. He really, it's a genuine feeling for him, because I know that, as you get older, time becomes more precious, and you realize what is, the people that move on from your lives, but what you've been able to accomplish together.
Absolutely. And really, where would we be without people, right? Mm-hmm. So thankful for people who have dedicated their time to this community and to the city of Elko, and we're just really fortunate. You hear me all the time say, we just have an amazing team, and Shelby was definitely part of that.
So moving on to a presentation about the giving machine. And I know Robert Howard, I believe he was the person on hand to give the presentation to county commissioners, Jan. And this is a cool concept.
Isn't it fun? I think it's a great idea. I believe, I haven't heard the whole, and I apologize, I didn't watch the whole Elko Commission meeting, but and I haven't seen this presentation yet. So I'm excited to hear it and see it. And yeah, it's a giving machine. So it's like a vending machine, but it has different opportunities around the holidays to donate money to different organizations. And in a vending machine. I just think it's so fun, and I think it's a great idea because a lot of times I feel people want to give in the community, but they're not really sure where to go or how to do it. And so how great, we'll just go down to the vending machines. So I think it's a fun opportunity, and we'll see how that works over the holiday season.
Looking forward to this presentation today, shortly after 4 o'clock when the council meeting opens. And then another chance to give thanks and appreciation to the Elko Golf Course staff.
Absolutely. So the mayor actually asked specifically for this to be put on the agenda, and what is driving this is all of the positive communication that he's received from the community and the golfers and the golf community about how great the golf course looks. And we have Austin Bachman has a very small team at the golf course, and so he's going to bring his full-time employees, I believe. So Austin Bachman, Greg Thomason, and Jacob Lister, those are the 3 full-time employees. They were also they had some seasonals up there as well, and actually the mayor and I joined them for some pizza one day for lunch, and just to say thank you. They just did an awesome job up there, and it's just showing through public comment, and really public comment and referrals and things like that are the best way to know how things are going. And the golf course is looking amazing, and Austin is heading that up, and we're just really appreciative to Austin and his whole team.
Oh, that's great. So that's also on the agenda. That's one of our most prized amenities, that we even have a municipal golf course. It's not golf is not as popular as it used to be, but there are certainly efforts here with our junior golf, with the ladies high school as well as the boys golf teams, and there's an amazing effort to continue to contribute to that sport and to open it up to everybody.
Absolutely, and you're right. So the youth golf is so important. If you're continuing to educate those younger people and showing them, what a great sport it is and how wonderful it is to get outside and be active, just the better the golf course will do. And so obviously we also give a lot of thanks to Rick Longhurst as well. He's our golf pro, and he does a great job up there, and we really appreciate him. But this group right here is these guys are employed by the city of Elko, and their main task is to take care of the 18-hole golf course, which is just huge, and they do it with a really small team, and greatly appreciated.
Nice. So the city Ruby View Golf Course is what it's called. It is open to the community, the public. There's a wonderful restaurant up there, the clubhouse. Are they open now, Jan, or do they close seasonally? I don't know.
They do close seasonally. There was some talk about keeping it open, but it's a tough building to keep warm. And because of that, it's a little inefficient to heat it in the winter. And so it is all closed down for the season. And the season opens back up on March 1st.
There'll be people counting down the days.
Absolutely.
They love their city golf course. And then look at all these new employees, Jan, that you have managed to recruit, which is fantastic.
Isn't that absolutely amazing? Yeah. So we're going to introduce 5 new employees tonight. I think actually one will be deferred to the next meeting. But yes, we have 5 new employees. We have a very small HR department with Susie Schertz and Mandy Della Vega. And they just do a great job at recruiting, and we've brought a lot of people on in the last few weeks. Of course, there were 3 weeks in between meetings, so do want to say that. But they do a great job, and we're excited. And honestly, I think the job openings on the website currently are we're down to just a few. So the civil engineer / city engineer, police officers, and then Snow Bowl employees. We're starting to talk about the Snow Bowl and getting that going. And James Wiley has put a lot of work into the Snow Bowl this summer. And hoping all of that and new electronics that he's got going up there really benefit the Snow Bowl. So those are really the only 3 openings we have on the website right now.
Fantastic. Summer O'Neill is joining as an operator in training with Water and Sewer. Mitchell Quintana for operations and maintenance at the airport. Danielle Glennon from the animal shelter, an animal shelter worker. Ramon Dionisio for the code enforcement officer, another important position, community development. And congratulations, you have an administrative assistant, if you'd like to talk about her.
Yes, so actually there was a little bit of a shift. So Tiffany Elko, I now have Jody Notenstein, and she was the administrative assistant for Scott Wilkinson, the assistant city manager. And so she moved over to work in my office and replaced Kim Wilkinson, which retired a couple months ago, and we definitely miss. And then, yes, we've hired Tiffany Eklund, and she'll be the administrative assistant for the assistant city manager. So, yeah, we have a great team. Great employees at the city of Elko.
A lot of depth of talent. Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
Wonderful that you're able to retain these people and then to attract new talent as well. So I know we spent a little time on that. There are a few agenda items. The city is going to look over the RFQs, request for qualifications for the Water System Modernization Project, and it looks like at least one firm has risen to the top.
Yes, so this has been a long project and process, I should say, and there were eight great vendors that applied for this RFQ, or at least put in with their qualifications, and then I believe 4 of them went to the short list, and they came to the city of Elko for. I think that I didn't participate in all of those demonstrations, but they lasted days. They were huge presentations and very comprehensive, very professional. All 4 of them did a great job. I believe staff and the Spiegler Group, who is leading us through this process, is recommending Western Nevada Supply to City Council tonight. And of course, City Council will look at the packet and look at all of the different RFQs that were submitted and can make that decision. And we're excited to get this project going. So we've been talking about it, for almost a year now. But this will kick off our meter install throughout the city. And so we're doing pretty good with our timeline. We got the bonding secured, and the bonding has been issued, I believe, and we were very close to that closing. And so that bonding is through the state revolving fund, and we received a 1% long-term loan from the state revolving fund for $12,650,000 to help us with this project, and $1.5 million in principal forgiveness. And so it's a huge project. It's a $14 million project that we're taking up, and with the intention of putting meters and smart meters throughout the entire city. So we believe that the actual construction or installation of the meters and the meter pits will begin in January.
Oh, in January. All right. There you go. We'll have Dale back on. I know he said he would, and tell us how. I think some residents are really eager to participate in that, obviously, to find out, how to get in line, or if they're going to be asked to participate in the cost, still some questions on that, right? So
absolutely. So this program through the SRF, the State Revolving Fund, through this program, the city of Elko is able to pay for all of the meters and the meter pits that will be installed, and all the software to go with it as well to read the meters. And there'll be smart meters in a sense, and so it'll all get read through technology. And so anyway, yeah, it'll be a big project, and he knows all of the details, but because he's been living this for over a year, but it'll be a good project. And like we've said a few times on the radio, get the city of Elko a little more up to date with metering. I believe we're about the last municipality to undergo this type of a project. And because right now most of our customers are flat rate, and because of that, the people that are metered are tending to subsidize the flat rate customers a little bit, and we want to make sure that people pay for the water they use and don't have to pay if they're not using that much water. So I think the metering will be important.
Great. We'll talk more about that, as you said, in the months to come. Well, weeks now, because January will be here before you know it.
Right. We're already at a holiday season, Lori.
Exactly.
I'm not ready.
I'm not ready either. Oh my gosh. I'm ready to see family and celebrate
Absolutely.
and relax a little bit, take a breath and take a step back. But hey, while we're talking about water, Jan, let's include this topic of folks may have started getting their letters about the lead and copper pipes, and they sound kind of ominous when you read them.
They do. This letter that the city of Elko sent out, I believe it was sent out last week or right towards the end of October, beginning of November. And residents, I believe it went to nearly 3,000 residents. And so there are a lot of these letters that have gone out. And what the letter is it's part of a process. This is a mandated letter that the city of Elko needed to send out. The federal government is mandating that all municipalities have an inventory of the lead and copper pipes within the city. And so we've already gone through a process. Dale, again, was involved in this, gone through a process to do a preliminary inventory, but there were some houses left over, about 3,000 of them, that we aren't sure if they have lead and copper or if they do not. And so these letters went out to those residents. And so what we're doing is we just want to, are asking the residents to help us with completing that inventory. And if people would like somebody from the water system or from the water department to come out and inspect their pipes, we're happy to do that. Or if they already know if they have lead and copper, or if they no longer have it, if they could just call and report that to us so that we can complete that inventory. And there are two numbers that are listed on the letter. One is for the Elko Utility Department, and that goes to our finance staff here, and it's 775-777-7135. And then the other number is for the Utilities Administration Office, and that's where Dale sits, and his phone number is 775-777-7210. And you can schedule a time for the city of Elko to come and inspect your lines, or you can just report to us what you have if you already know. So it is a little bit of a scary letter. There are health effects that can occur with lead and copper piping, and those are listed in here, and it's a little aggressive. But this is the wording that was required by the FDA. So that's what's included in it. But don't panic. Just if you have questions or want to have somebody come and inspect your lines, feel free to give us a call and we'll help you out with that.
Well, thanks, Jan. And again, don't be intimidated by the letter. Do call if you have questions. Don't be concerned, right away, because Dale and the City Utilities Department can answer questions about, if there are costs involved, what kinds of remediation is available, right? Because this is a requirement of the federal government. There may be some remediation.
Absolutely. There very well could be. And it's a little bit of a moving target as to the cost and who pays and who doesn't and things like that. It's been all over the board a little bit in the last couple months. And so right now this is just an inventory. And based on the inventory, I am sure the city of Elko will be required to replace within the next 10 years, I believe it is, the lead and copper pipes. And if there's more questions, you can definitely visit with Dale or his staff about that, because they're very knowledgeable about the process and the program.
Thank you, Jan. Jan Baum is our city manager. So with questions, call Dale Johnston or Johnson, and you should be able to clear any of those questions up right away. So then if we veer back onto the agenda under unfinished business, this is kind of confusing, but it's a lot of money. So the longitudinal pipeline agreement between the city and Union Pacific Railroad, this must have something to do with those checkerboard public lands, and the city's going to have to pay for a right-of-way?
Yes, absolutely. So there is a large sewer line that we would like to put in, and so that we can provide sewer service to exit 298. Currently, those like the Sinclair there, I believe that they have a septic system, and that's just not, we need to have sewer service there. But in order to in order to construct that sewer line, we are going to have to be in the Union Pacific right away. And so it's a big process. We've been talking to them over a year, trying to get this agreement in place. And as part of the agreement, there is a one-time fee of approximately, a little over $297,000 that the city of Elko will have to pay Union Pacific in order to, I guess it's called a one-time licensing fee, but in order to have that sewer line in the Union Pacific right away. And so it's unfortunate, but honestly, we have a lot of agreements with Union Pacific, and there are other agreements where we pay so much every single year. And so this is just, it's just written differently. It's a different approach. It's a one-time fee, and then we're done. Whereas other agreements or license agreements we have where we're in the Union Pacific right away, we end up paying tens of thousands of dollars every year. So this takes care of it one time, and it'll be part of the cost of the project. And we do believe we'll still be within budget for the sewer lift station and sewer line. So it's it's so silly that it's a sewer line, but it's an exciting project, and it'll really open up hopefully some development at exit 298.
Oh yeah, a lot of people are looking forward to that, Jan. And that near $300,000, it comes from an existing budget. Then it's already in the plan.
Yes. Well, we didn't know it would be a one-time cost, but Dale believes that his budget for that project can absorb that amount, and so we will keep going forward.
All right. Mm-hmm. And then anybody who I've been hearing from people thinking, oh, they put the road in from Ericart, but we should probably just take a little time to explain that is sort of an easement that's adjacent to the water line extension, right?
Yes. So that road is all about the water line extension, and so that is a water line that goes from the hospital, from Ericart Boulevard, and that water line will go all the way to the water tank that is about 2/3 of the way to Ericart Bridge from the hospital. And so it's a very exciting project. It is not a finished road. It will, but it is going to look very much like a road, and we'll have a water line in it. And so we're hoping that this will really motivate everybody to get that road completed, going to Ericart, give us a second source or second roadway to the hospital, which is very important to our community. When there's an emergency right now, if that road is to the hospital is closed from the city of Elko, then there's not another way to get to the hospital, and we really should have two roadways to our hospital. And so it'll also, once that road is finished, and we're looking years down the road, but it's going to get us closer, 2/3 of the way, I keep saying, and I think it'll engage a lot of different organizations, and maybe we can partner to get that road finished. So it'll really provide actually Elko County residents a relief roadway getting around town if they are going to the west side of town, right? So we're hoping that we can get that done, I don't know, in a few years or so. And it's a great start. It's an ARPA project.
It's so important to have this kind of planning in place, because we saw what it meant when we did get that. Some people don't like the term windfall or pork project or whatever, but the fact is that our community suffered, as did communities around the country during COVID, and that money was there to provide relief, and it was invested for things like this. And Jan, the county commission just had their big conversation last Wednesday, and they have voted to hire the consultant to study the secondary access to Spring Creek. So it sounds like the conversations could be aligning.
Absolutely, yeah. Maybe they can come together, and I'm really anxious to see, and I'm sure they are as well, where that study comes out, and what comes out of that study, because our community as a whole, that one road to Spring Creek it's tough for a lot of residents. And so I agree. That'll be a great project to see where that comes out.
Jan Baum is our Elko city manager as we're talking about what's on the agenda today, and just, I guess, adding in a few asides because it is kind of exciting news to see that kind of progress happening. Under new business, there is a request to subdivide some lots, a parcel, just over 9 acres into some residential development, and that's always good news. The community could use more housing.
Absolutely, yes. So this is Koinonia Construction, and they do a great job. They have several subdivisions within the city of Elko, and we're happy to have their development for sure. And this small development of 9 acres is kind of in the vicinity, I want to say, kind of behind Elko Veterinary Clinic and at Orchard Cove Drive and Metzler Road. And it'll be a great little housing district for the city of Elko, and so it'll be single family and multifamily, and we're excited that Luke is going forward with this project.
And then under resolutions and ordinances, it looks like phase 3 of Copper Trails subdivision. They're looking at maybe making a reduction, maybe making a smaller type of housing in that existing footprint. Yes,
absolutely. This is an affordable housing district, I believe is what I would call it, because it's smaller square foot. And this is at Copper Trails, and that's off of 5th Street, on the right-hand side of 5th Street. And that's been a great little subdivision as well. I think that was by Koinonia as well. And so he's done a great job. Like I said, Luke's done a great job in the city of Elko, and we appreciate what he does.
And it's important to note it is consistent with the city's master plan. Again, it all goes back to planning.
Absolutely. And, Scott Wilkinson is... he's a big part of the City of Elko master plan and really has a vision and can see how these developments and subdivisions and how it all goes together, and the water projects and the sewer projects. And he's a big part of that.
Yeah, that's really the greatest legacy that you can give any municipality is just good planning, because it's like planting the seeds for trees that you may not be around to see, but it's a good idea. So.
Absolutely, and he has a vision and he can see all of that long-term planning, and he does a really good job out of it. We're sure thankful for Scott.
There will be an appeal of the city council during their October 8th meeting. They did request that a sign for a subdivision be relocated, and I read the documents attached, and that's going to be a tough decision for the council. I mean, the builder proposed, he didn't know he needed permission first, right? And constructed a sign. So it's going to be one of those tough decisions the council has to make. Yeah.
Absolutely. They need to listen to all of the information and make their decision. At the last meeting where it was discussed, the owner wasn't there. And so, that might have had a little bit of impact on that. So it'll be good if the owner comes and kind of explains the sign and where it is.
The reasoning
the reasoning behind it. So I think that'll be good.
Yep, should be a good meeting for that as well. I think the council conducts themselves professionally and allows, the different sides to be heard. So, and then there will be an appeal for a bar card. And again, that's another one of those tough decisions. But all the documents are attached, and it does deal with, some personal information. So I think that should just play out at council rather than us discussing it on the radio.
I think that's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah.
And and then I want to mention, Lori, that there is a special meeting on Thursday morning at 9 a.m. And what this meeting is, it's something we do every year. It's to certify the election. So we all made it through the election and all the drama. And so we all made it through that. And Annette made it through it, which was, she really worked a lot during the elections, and she did a great job and she's kind of thrown into it. And so just wanted to voice our thanks to Annette Robinson, our Elko City Clerk, for all she did last week. And I believe Rachel also helped her. So they both did a great job. And so they'll certify the election Thursday morning at 9 a.m. And we have Claire Morris will be, he's our incumbent, and he was reelected. And then Marissa Lostra was elected as well. And so we'll have one new council member, Marissa, and then Claire will rejoin us, which is great.
So congratulations. And Marissa Lostra, again, newcomer to the Elko City Council to replace Mandy Simons, who is retiring. She is term limited. And yeah, so that's exciting. 9 o'clock on Thursday morning, right?
Yes,
okay.
9 a.m. on Thursday
Very
morning.
good. I guess the only other thing I'd mention, they just brought this in this morning. Nevada Division of Water Resources is going to host what they call a listening session on water issues in Spring Creek. And it's set for Thursday, November 14th. And it's from 5 to 7. And they just want community members to participate, to share concerns, and to ask questions. They're actually going to have staff on hand, the state engineer, I believe, if not just his staff. And that will be at the Sage Elementary School gym Thursday, November 14th, 5 to 7. And when this was dropped off, they said that, and I believe these were some employees, they might have been from Spring Creek actually, but they said that this should have information for the community about the proposed ski area in Spring Creek. So a lot of questions have come up.
Yeah.
And then there are hundreds of new homes proposed outside the Homeowners Association as well. And that's also prompting a lot of water questions for Spring Creek.
Yes, there have been a lot of waters and roads, I think. Water and roads are the main questions behind those subdivisions or development in the ski area. So I think that'll be good education for the community.
All right, Jen. Anything else before you head to today's meeting?
No, I think that's all I have. But thank you for sharing that water resources meeting. I think that'll be
absolutely.
good for the community.
Absolutely. Jan Baum is our city manager. Elko City Council meets in regular session. That's at 4 o'clock today at City Hall. And listeners, you're invited to participate. You can be there in person, or you can certainly follow along online. Thanks again, Jan.
Okay, thank you, Lori.